Thank you for joining this lesson. We're going to discuss Mathematics Paper 2, Section 1. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share so that you may invite friends. Mathematics Paper 2, Section 1. So this is what we'll be discussing in the next 1 hour. Benefit. Remember to share. Remember to subscribe. Question number 1 is on quadratic equations and expressions from 3 mathematics. Expression ax squared minus 60x plus 18 is a square where a is a constant. Find the value of a. We are supposed to know that for a perfect square, whereby the general expression for a perfect square is ax squared minus, okay, we can have plus bx plus a constant c. If this is a perfect square now, then it implies that the value of b divided by 2 squared should give us a multiplied by c. b out of 2 squared equals to ac. So from our expression here, which we are told that it's a perfect square, then we should say that when we take the value of b, which is a negative 60, divide by 2, then we square, we should get a multiplied by c. A multiplied by c, which is a constant 18. So now this is a 2. When you divide the negative 60 by 2, we get negative 30. Then squared, we get 900. It's equivalent to 18a. So that to get a, we divide through by 18. And a is going to give us exactly 50. So the value of a equals to 50. The value of a equals to 50. Number 2 is a question on errors and approximations. A very good question, which says that a rectangular plot of land has length 125.8 meters and an exact height, an exact width of 84 meters. Find the percentage error in calculating the area of the plot. The language used there says that the width is exact. This is to mean that there is no error incurred in the recording of the width. Therefore, we can get the limits of the length. The length, which is 125.8, has been recorded to 1 decimal place, which means the absolute error incurred in the recording of the length with an accuracy of 0.1, then we divide the accuracy by 2 to get 0.05. So the absolute error in the capturing of the length is 0.05, which means we add 0.05 and we also subtract 0.05 for us to get the limits. So the upper limit is when we add 0.05, we'll get 125.85 meters. And the lower limit is when we subtract 0.05, and this will give us 125.75 meters. So those are the limits within which the length lies. With the limits of the length, now we can calculate maximum area. So area maximum will be given by, remember it's rectangular. So when we are talking about area maximum, we use the upper limit of the length. Area is generally given by length times width. So the upper limit of the length, 125.85, multiplied by the width, which is not having any error, so it's just exact. And this is going to give us a 10,571.4 meters squared. Then there is a area minimum. In this particular case, now we will use the lower limit of the length, but the width is just exact. And this is going to give us 10,563 meters squared. Then there is what we call actual area. The actual area is going to be, when you use the dimensions as they were captured, 125.8 by 84. This will give us exactly 10,567, then 0.2 square meters. Now, with all this now, we have to calculate what we call absolute error. Absolute error of the area is going to be maximum minus minimum by 2. So 10,571.4 minus 10,560, then divide by 2. And this is going to give us exactly 4.2. That is the absolute error in the recording of the area of this plot of the land. Then the other thing that we're supposed to compute is the relative error. Relative error is usually given by absolute error divided by actual area. So absolute error divided by actual area or working area, 10,567.2. That will give us, given by relative error times 100. The relative error that we are already having expressed as a percentage. But remember, we have been demanded to do it to 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places now 0%. So that is computation of the area of the piece. You can see people are actively following, and this is great. Now we can look at number 3. Find the area of a sector of radius 10.5 centimeters subtended by an angle of 1/3 pi radians at the center of the circle. At the center of the circle. At the center of the circle. So the area has been, okay, we have the radius and also the angle, but the angle has been given in pi radians. Now it's upon the learner to know how to convert radians to degrees. We know that generally 2 pi radians is equivalent to 360 degrees. What about pi radians? This is going to be 1/3 by 360 divided by 2. And this will give us exactly 60 degrees. Yeah, 60 degrees. So with the angle now in degrees, we know that area is given by theta over 360 pi r squared. So theta is 60 over 360 pi r squared, 10.5 squared. So this is going to give us area equivalent to 0.75. Yeah, 0.75 square centimeters. Yeah, not meters. square centimeters. Square centimeters. So that's how we get the area. We have already converted the units. So we have it in square centimeters. Number 4, this is a combination of both surds and trigonometry. Surds and trigonometry. You know, there is a trigonometric ratios of special angles like 30, 45, 60, and that is what we're going to apply right now. So when we express these surds or these trigonometric ratios in surd form, then we will be saying that the value of the sine of 45 is usually given by 1 out of root 2, then plus the cosine of 30 degrees, that is root 3 over 2, then divided by the tan of 30, which is 1 over root 3. 1 out of root 3. Yeah, 1 out of root 3. So at that point, we can do away with the fraction, which is 1 over root 3, by multiplying by root 3 all through. And this will become, when we multiply 1 over root 2 by root 3, no, we should multiply by root 3 all over. By root 3, by root 3, and also this by root 3. So it will be root 3 over root 2. Root 2 plus, this is going to be 3 out of 2, because root 3 by root 3 becomes the root of 9, which is just 3, then over 2. At that point now, we can continue simplifying, whereby I'm going to use the LCM. Let me handle it like any other fraction. The LCM is a root 2 by 2. So that LCM divided by the first denominator, we get 2. So it will be 2 root 3 plus LCM divided by 2, we get root 2. So 3 root 2. So now at this point, you shall discover that at the denominator we have a surd, and you cannot claim to have simplified a surd if at the denominator there is no rational number. So you make the denominator a rational number. That will be by multiplying every term. This one, that is the numerator, by 2 root 2, and also the denominator by itself, which is also 2 root 2. You multiply it by itself, 2 root 2. This is with intentions of rationalizing the denominator. With intentions of rationalizing the denominator. Because after that, we will be able to know that actually the value of this expression is not interfered with, because we are multiplying with 2 root 2, both in the numerator and also in the denominator. So the value remains unaffected. We are just multiplying for purposes of rationalization. For purposes of rationalization. Good. So we can talk of now the numerator becoming, when we open the bracket, it will be 4 multiplied by the root of 6 plus 6 by the 6 by the root of 4, which is generally 12, divided by 2 by 2, the denominator now, that will be 4. Then 4 multiplied by the root of 4, which is 2. That becomes 4 by 2, which is 8. Separate the LCM and simplify whatever is common. Or we say that from the numerator, 4 is common, such that we have root 6 plus 3. Then from the denominator, 4 is also common. We remain with 2. And we have the final answer as the root of 6 plus 3 divided by 2. So that becomes the final answer. As we continue learning, I'd like to remind students in the lower forms of our serious program here in mathematics and physics, whereby students are supposed to enroll using the number on the poster 0704 15 33 66. Through this number, we're going to engage and we shall recruit you for our online classes, whereby Form 1 students will get introduced to Form 2 work. Form 2 students will get introduction to Form 3 work. Form 3 students will get introduction to Form 4 work. This program is going to run from Monday, that is the 11th of November, all the way to Wednesday, the 11th of 04 33 66. So through that number, you can inquire about the logistics to enroll for those classes. Simplify the logarithmic expression of the log of 65 plus a third, the logarithm of 125, equals to the log of 100 minus half the log of 16. We're going to apply one law of logarithms, that is the third law, which says when you have n, the log of a, this can be simplified by taking log of a raised to power n. So in the first term, instead of half now, it will be the log of 625 raised to power half, then plus the log of 125 raised to power a third. Everything divided by the logarithm of 100 minus the log of 16, but 16 raised to power half. So at that point now we can apply laws of indices, the fractional law of indices. Raising to power half will mean square root. Raising to power third will mean the third root. So the square root of 625 is 25. So the log of 25 plus the logarithm of the cube root of 125 is 5 divided by the logarithm of 100 of, when you take the square root of 16, we shall get 4. Now I want us to apply two laws at the same time. There is the first and the second law. The first law says that the log of a plus the log of b, this can be solved as the log, then a and b are multiplied. That is the first law. The second law of logarithm says that, let me subdivide space. The second law says that when we take the logarithm of a minus the log of b, this can be taken as the log a divided by b. And with these two laws, now we will say that from the numerator 5, divided by the logarithm, divided by the logarithm of this is going to be 100 out of 4. 100 out of 4. So we can say that this is the log. Let me compute them. This is the log of 25 by 5 gives us 125. Divide by the logarithm 100 out of 4, that gives us 20. That gives us 25. This is the same as taking the log of 125 to base 25. Yeah, that is the simple expression now, according to the laws of logarithms. Now, with this expression, we can let it be equal to a certain unknown t, so that we may work out t. So we'll be saying that when we cross, not even cross multiplication, sorry, we have to convert from log form to index form. Log form to index form. Therefore, we know that when we have the log of b to base c equals to a, this can be changed to c power a equals to b. So we should convert this expression from logarithm form to index. Power t is the same as 125. And you know that 25t can also be given as 25 power, is it 3? 25 power 3. Not really. Okay, let's put all of them to base 5 anyway. All of them to base 5. All of them to base 5. 5 to base 5 means 5 squared. So it will be 2t. This is equal to 5 power 3. So the value of t, can now be concluded to be 5, which is our final answer. Number 6 is on commercial arithmetic, a very serious concept. Who deposited 50,000 Kenya shillings in an invested and account, compounded semi-annually, and add a total of 70,925 after 3 years. Calculate the rate of interest per annum to the nearest whole number. So we're supposed to know that amount is usually given by principal 1 plus the rate, which is a percentage, raised to n. N is the compound interest seasons. So we shall be talking of amount of 70,925 being equal to principal, the initial amount invested, 1 plus a known rate of 100, raised to the amount or the number of interest periods. Remember, compounding is happening semi-annually, and this is after 3 years. So after 3 years, how many semi-annuals do we have? They are going to be 6. Semi-annuals are supposed to be 6 within 3 years, and compound interest is being calculated after every half a year. So half years within 3 years are going to be 6. Now we can divide these through by 50,000. Yeah, we divide by 50,000, and this is going to exactly give us 1.4185, equivalent to 1 plus rate over 100 raised to power 6. So we have to take the 6th root. So you go to your calculator and you write 6 shift power of 1.4185, and this will give us 1.05997 76 equivalent to 1 plus rate over 100. So to remain with rate, which is unknown, over 100, we have to subtract 1 from the other side, 0.599 76. So R is going to be 5.9. Nines are 3, 9998. Actually, this should be 9998. Sorry, there is a write the exact thing. If you choose to make this one 4 significant figures or even nearest whole number according to instructions, 6.00. Yeah. So this rate is the one used for the semi-annual compounding. Semi-annual compounding, which means rate per annum. Rate per annum is going to be 6 by 2, giving us 12%. This is now per annum. Calculate the rate of interest per annum to the nearest whole number. So to the nearest whole number, that is going to be the rate of compounding. The rate of compounding. Number 7, a quantity P is partly constant and partly varies as the square of Q. If Q equals to 2 when P equals to 9 and Q equals to 4 when P equals to 33, find the value of P when Q equals to 1.5. This is a question on partial variations. Partial variations. We can write the statement from English to mathematics equation. P is partly constant, and the other part, it's varying partly as the square of Q. The square of Q. So we can now introduce an equal sign and we do away with the symbol of proportionality. P is equivalent to, we introduce two constants and also a constant here times Q squared. Now with this general equation, this one is the general equation. The general equation. So we can talk of some conditions provided there, like a Q equals to 2 when P is 9. So P equals to 9. K plus a constant multiplied by Q squared, which will become 4. So we can now make it equation 1. 9 equals to K plus 4C. This is equation 1. Then equation 2, we are also given another condition that Q equals to 4 when P is 33. So P33 equals to constant plus C multiplied by the value of Q squared. So we'll be talking of 33 equals to K plus 16C. This one now becomes equation 2. This is now equation 2. At this point now, because in the two equations which we are supposed to solve simultaneously, the coefficients of K are already the same, then we can use what we call elimination method. We can just eliminate K. Can eliminate K by subtracting all the corresponding terms. 9 minus 33, that will give us 24 negative, equals to, K minus K now will be eliminated. 4C minus 16, negative 12C. So that the value of C, when the negatives disappear, because they are appearing on both sides, and we divide through by 12, C becomes C. C becomes 2. Then now we can use any of the equations, either 1 or 2, for us to get the value of K. From equation 1, 9 equals to K plus 4 multiplied by C. Remember, the value of C has been known, so we don't have to call it C now. We need to call it 2. And now this becomes 8. To remain with K here, 8 has to be subtracted. 9 minus 8, giving us 1. So with 1 and 2 as the constants now, in this particular question, the specific equation now, P equals to K, which is 1. K is 1. So we're not writing k now. We write 1. C multiplied by q. C is 2. Then by q squared. At this point now, we can proceed to find the value of p when q is 1.5. So p equals to 1 plus 2 into 1.5 squared. So now we shall get this one as 5.5. Yeah, 5.5. That is now the final answer. 5.5. 5.5. Okay, we also talk about binomial expressions and expansions. That is question 8. Guys, remember to subscribe. Remember also to invite a friend. Thank you, guys. I can see you are really following, commenting, and cheering up. So thank you for being part of this program. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number 8. The question says expand 3x minus y raised to power 4 and simplify, hence evaluate 1.5 minus 0.2 raised to power 4. Raised to power 4. Let's expand first. We know for us to expand, this is my approach, and it is what I've been advising students to follow. So I hope we're going to work together throughout number 8. We first list the binomial expansions to power 4, and they are in your mathematical tables, so you don't even need to memorize them. You don't need to cram anything. You lift them directly from your mathematical 4-figure tables. So you list them for power 4. The first one is 1. The second one is 4. The third one is 6. The fifth one is 4. And the fourth one is 4. Then the fifth one is 1. Remember, you are not supposed to estimate them. You're supposed to list all of them unless it is the examiner who says up to the term with x power 3, up to the third term, up to the fourth term. That language should come from the examiner. Without that language, you expand everything the way we're going to do in this particular question. So the powers of 3x are supposed to begin from the highest, but the powers of negative y are supposed to begin from the least, power 4. But negative should be raised to power 0. But now as we proceed, in the next term, 3x should descend to power 3, y should ascend to power 1. As we continue, 3x is supposed to become now power 2, negative y to power 2. 3x descends to power 1, negative y ascends to power 3. 3x takes power 0, negative y becomes power 4. Yeah, it becomes power 4. So that is how you're supposed to outline it. Then from here now, you do the normal expansion now, whereby 3 power 4 multiplied by x, that one has to become 81. X is power 4, but now negative y power 0 becomes 1. Anything power 0 equals to 1. That has to be understood from indices. Then the next, we start with a minus, obviously, because negative y raised to, but now 3x3 becomes 27x power 3. So it will be 4 by 27x power 3 by negative y. So we begin with a negative 108. X is power 3 and y is just power 1. The next one will be a plus 3x squared. That becomes 9x squared. Negative y squared becomes y squared, now positive. So it will be 6 by 9, giving us 54. Then x is power 2 and y is also power 2. The other one automatically becomes a minus because negative y cubed is negative y power 3. Yeah, it will be negative. Then 3x power 1 remains the way it is. So 4 by 3 by negative y power 3. So it will be 12 x raised to power 1 and y becomes cubed. Then finally plus 3x power 0 becomes 1. So it will be 1 times 1 and y power 4. Because the power is even, the negative disappears. A negative number raised to an even power becomes positive, because for every y, there is another one. For every negative y, there is another negative y to cancel the negative effect. But when they are odd powers, the negative is retained because there is an extra power which is not cancelled. I hope we are together in that. Y power 4, because it's 1 times 1 times y power 4. That's what we get. Now, after this, the next thing is to expand. This is now the expansion. We now apply in evaluating 1.4 minus 1.5 minus 0.2. We should know that we just equate. Because the powers are the same, it means the bases are also the same. So 3x minus y equals to 1.5 minus 0.2. We equate corresponding terms such that 3x is equated to 1.5, and from this we can see the value of x equals to 0.5. Yeah, 0.5, that is half. Then the other corresponding term is negative y is equated to negative 0. So that the value of y is 0.2. Now we go back to our expansion, and where there is x, we substitute 0.5. Where there is y, we substitute 0.2. So the function now has to begin this way. The function has to begin this way. Let me use enough space. Let me use enough space so I can begin at this point. 81. I begin here. 0.5 by 4, then minus 108, 0.5 power 3 multiplied by 0.2 plus 54, 0.5 squared multiplied by 0.2 also squared. Remember, this is what you are supposed to key into your calculator. Minus 12. Minus 12, 0.5 multiplied by 0.2. This one power 3. And finally, we add 0.2 power 4. 0.2 power 4. So directly from your calculator, let me know. So we can just write 2.8561. Point 2.8561. So that is how we work it out. Number 9, it's a question on a probability. A question on probability. The question says that a committee of 3 people is to be chosen randomly from 5 men and 3 women. If every gender must be represented in the committee, find the probability of choosing more women than men. Every gender must be represented in the committee. That's a very strict instruction, and it has to be followed. Let me begin by putting down the information in what we call a tree diagram, a probability tree diagram. We just simplify so that you may see all the possible outcomes. In the first picking of a committee member, we expect either a man or a woman. Either man is 5 out of 8 people. Because we are 5 men and 3 women, then picking a woman is 3 out of 8. We can go to probability of picking a man or a woman. So picking a man in the man, the probability should go down because men are 4 and it's now out of 7, but women should be 3 over 7. Then when we had picked a woman, in the second picking, we can pick a man or a woman. So picking a woman again should go down to 2 over 7. Remains 5 over 7. Yeah. We proceed again. When we had picked a man, we can still pick a man again or a woman. The third time should be 3, but now over 6. So that woman is also 3 over 6. Then picking a woman. So picking a man or woman. In that case, when we had picked a woman in the second picking a woman again should go down. You know, the probability here for woman is 3 over 7. So picking a woman again should go down to 2 now over 6. Sorry. 2 over 6. So that we have 4 out of 6 for picking a man. When we had picked a man, we can pick a man or a woman. So picking a man again, when the probability previously was 5 over 7 out of 6. And finally, when we can pick a man or a woman. Now, picking a woman for the third time should go down to 1 over 6. So that a man is 5 out of 6. So these are the possible outcomes, but we can list all the possibilities now at the end of all the branches, such that we can see man, man, man. Then the next one is woman. Then man, woman, man. Also having man, woman, woman. The one ending with M here is starting from woman, man, 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 man. The one ending with a W here is beginning from woman, man, woman. The one ending with a man is begun. Then we have W, W, all the possibilities. Yeah, in that given. We have the possibilities outlined now at the end of every branch. With all the probabilities listed that way. Thank you. I can see you are seriously following. Can see people watching even from LD, others from Garissa, from Matuga Girls, Kwale, and this is great, from Mombasa, Nanyuki. I like this. From Kapkit, this is great. St. Patrick's Makunga High School. So let's continue following. Let's also invite our friends so that they may also reap a benefit. Find the probability of choosing more women than men. There is one condition given here that all genders must be represented. So more women than men means that probabilities like this, a case like this, more women than men, another case like this, and another case like this. When I look at all the other possibilities, pure women, this one has pure women, so we cannot include it. We are talking of more women than men, not pure women, because all genders must be represented in the given committee. All genders must be represented in the given committee. Somebody following from Makueni, and that is great. This is a Faustina Mwash. Thank you so much, madam, for following. So we can now get to the probability more women than men. So we need probability 1 man, 2 women, or probability women, man, then women, or probability woman, woman, then man. So those are all the outcomes which we are interested in. In the first one, man 5/8, followed by woman 3/7, then followed by woman again 2/6, according to the tree diagram, plus starting with a woman 3/8, followed by man 5/7, followed by woman again 2/6. Or finally, probability woman, woman, man. So 3 out of 8 by 2/7, then 5/6. So those are all the possibilities. We compute and we add them. When you multiply, you're supposed to get, okay, we can simplify them to 3/8. So we can just, yeah, you can take time if you want to multiply all of them independently, but finally when you add, please give me a final answer of 15 out of 52. Please give me that final answer. Please give me such an answer from Nakuru. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am challenging in our tonight's broadcast. Remember also to invite friends. We are going to have a serious program tonight for mathematics section 2. So please make sure, ensure you are found in tonight's class. Just ensure that you are found in this class. Okay. Another interesting question remains to be 0704153366. That's our consultation line. And we have our holiday programs for students to school, whereby we're going to introduce Form 1s to Form 2 work, Form 2s to Form 3 work, and Form 3s to Form 4 work. Our program is beginning on Monday, the 11th of November, all the way to Wednesday, the 11th of December. Please, for the 1-month program, by making inquiries through the number on the screen, so that we may coordinate a few things and all shall be well. The classes will be taking place in Google Meeting. Number 10, an inlet tap. An inlet tap can fill an empty tank in 8 hours. It takes 12 hours to fill the tank when the inlet tap and an outlet tap are both opened at the same time. This is rates of work in proportions, compound rates of work in proportion. Calculate the time the outlet tap takes to empty the full tank when the inlet tap is closed. In other words, we need the rate of work for the outlet tap. We should know that an inlet tap, if it takes 8 hours to fill an empty tank, if it takes 8 hours to fill an empty tank, then it means in 1 hour, the inlet pipe now, in 1 hour, the inlet pipe is going to fill 1 out of 8 of the 1 out of 8 of the tank that it fills. That is why it requires 8 hours. 1/8 multiplied by 8 hours, we will get the tank full. Then we can talk of the fraction emptied by the outlet pipe, which is unknown. In 1 hour, the outlet pipe is going to empty 1 out of x, a known fraction of the tank. 1 out of x of the tank. If it is going to empty, then we can say both of them, both pipes in 1 hour, they are going, as the inlet fills 1 over, then the outlet is going to empty 1 out of 8. 1 out of 8. That is the fraction, you can say, of the tank. Both of them of the tank. So we can equate this fraction to something. We can equate this fraction to something, whereby we are going to say this. It takes 12 hours for all of them to fill the tank. If it takes 12 hours, then it means both of them, both in 1 hour, again, they fill 1 out of 12 of the tank. 1 out of 12 of the tank. And that is why they require 12 hours to completely fill it. Because if at the end of every hour they are filling 1 over 12, then we need to multiply this by 12 hours for us to get the full tank full, for the tank to be filled. Then the 2 pipes are filling 1 over 12 of the tank. So now we will say 1 out of 8 minus 1 out of x. This will be equivalent to 1 out of 12, so that we may get the value of x as 1 over 24. Because we need to say 1 over 8 minus 1 over 12 equals to 1 over x now, being positive on the other side. Yeah, we make it positive on the other side. So 1 out of x. In other words, the outlet pipe empties 1 over 24 of the tank. So if it has to work alone now in empty, then it requires, we say 1 over 24 of the tank requires 1 hour. That means the whole tank now, the whole proportion of 1 will require 1 by 1 divided by 1 over 24, which means times 24 over 1. So it will require exactly 24 hours. It will require 24 hours when working alone to fully empty the tank. We got another question here, and that's our number 11. The question says, the table below shows the relationship between the quantities P and Q. P and Q are there given in a graph, given in a table. On the grid provided, draw a line of best fit. Draw a line of best fit. You know, the scale has already been chosen. Nobody has told us to draw P on the x-axis and Q on the y. Okay, they have been indicated, sorry. But I thought the scales would still have guided us, and P is here. Yeah. So we are plotting Q against P. Q against P. Let's do a line of best fit in this case. 0, 2.4. 0, 2.4. So 2.4 is going to be at a point here. Yeah, at a point there. That is 2.4. Then we have the next as 1, 5.2. So 1 against 5.2. 1 against 5.2. So 5 is here. So 5 point there, slightly above exactly 5. The other one is 2 against 8.4. 2 against 8.4. Then we can also talk about 3 against 11. 3 against 11. The 11 itself is here. So 0.6 will be there. 11.6. 11.6. Then there is 4 against exactly 14. So 4 against exactly 14 shall be here. We also talk about 5. 5 against 17.6. 5 against 17. The 17 is here. So 17.6 will be there. We also talk about 6 against 20.4. Against 20.4. So 20.4 shall be there. So we have all the coordinates plotted, and now we have to do our line of best fit. Our line of best fit. A line which will accommodate majority of the dots, if not all of them. I'm sorry. So according to me, this is my line of best fit. Yeah, that's my line of best fit. That's my line of best fit. It's accommodating majority of the dots, as you can see. That's the line of best fit. Now with the line of best fit, given that way, with that line of best fit, now we can proceed to respond to the question after this. Using the graph, find the law connecting P and Q. I think we did a similar question here, and the only thing that we're going to do is to get the equation for this particular line. So the equation for this particular line, allow me use two coordinates like 0, 2.4, and another coordinate 6, 20.4. So we can get the, I will take 20.4 minus 2.4 divide by 6 minus 0. So this is going to be, when I take 20.4 and I subtract 2.4, I'm getting 18 out of 6. This is going to exactly be 3. Now, when we have the gradient, then we should know that, okay, it's Q on the y-axis. We should know that generally y equals to mx plus c, whereby the value of c is the y-intercept, and that is gradient. Then we have the quantity on the y and the quantity on the x. So we begin with Q equals to m is the gradient. The value on the x-intercept is p. Then the y-intercept is 0.4. Exactly 2.4. So now we are having the equation connecting P and Q. The equation connecting P and Q. So a student has to be very sharp with such. Yeah, so we are continuing. Number 12, a trigonometric question. Trigonometric question. Consultation line remaining 07, 04, 15, 33, 66. So please utilize that line. Also enroll for online classes using the same. That is for continuing students. Somebody following from Juja, another one asking whether they can download it. Yeah, if you wish, you can download. If you wish, you can also request for the paper. So thank you so much. Thank you for being around. I can see people are seriously following up with the lesson, and that is great. Yeah. Number 12, as we now wind up with the paper. The questions are only 16, be coming later tonight, ensure that you'll be online with friends. Mohomo Secondary School, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a trigonometric question. We can see sine squared and we can see cosine, which is not squared. Therefore, we have to apply what we call trigonometric identities. Trigonometric identities in this manner. There is this trigonometric identity which says that when we have the sine squared of an angle plus the cosine squared of the same angle, we usually get 1. And this is to mean that the sine can be given by 1 minus the cosine squared of the angle, which means we can substitute with 1 minus the cosine squared x. We can say this is 8 into 1 minus the cosine, the cosine squared of x equals to 12 cosine of x. Yeah, 12 cosine of x. Now at this point, the cosine squared of x equals to 12 the cosine of x. Now we can rearrange the terms so that we have them going to 1 and have them becoming 8 the cosine squared of x. Then this is already, but now negative, it becomes negative at this point. Then now we have our 0 here. The question is now quadratic in nature. It's now quadratic in nature, but we can say we let the cosine of x to be a value like t, so that the equation becomes 8t squared plus 12t minus 8 equivalent to 0. So this is the equation that we're going to work out. When you look at the equation generally, there is a common factor, and that is 4. When you divide it through by 4, it can simplify out to 2t squared plus 3t minus 2 equivalent to 0. Yeah, this is now the equation in its simplest form, and we can now solve it. So we shall say that by factorization method, we need a product equivalent to a times c. So that's 2 by negative 2, giving us negative 4. Then sum being equal to 3. The two numbers, which when multiplied, they give us negative 4, but when added, they will give us positive 3, are 4 and negative 1. Yeah, 4 and negative 1. So now we replace 3t with that 4 negative 1. Repeat number 8. You can replay the video. You can get back and check what we have done. Okay, 2t squared plus, instead of 3, 4t minus t, because we are replacing 3 with 4 and negative 1, minus 2 equivalent to 0. This is going to be 2t when we factorize, t plus 2 minus 1, t plus 2 equals to 0. So now from the brackets, t plus 2, the brackets we have 2t minus 1 equals to 0. So the first value of t is going to be t equals to negative 2 or t equals to positive half. Now, when values are greater for cosine and sine, when values are greater than 1, absolute values greater than 1, we usually ignore. So we can see now, whatever we had let to be t is the cosine of x. So the cosine of x equals to a half, which means x will be the cos inverse of a half, and that gives us shift cosine of a half. This will give us exactly 60. we are going to get we are working. So there is another angle whose trigonometric ratio is also a half, whose cosine is also a half. And that angle is going to be the same acute angle of 60, but measured where? Let's look at this. This is what we call the unit circle, whereby we say in the unit circle, in the first quadrant, all trigonometric ratios are positive. Sines alone, in the second one, sines alone are positive. Tangents alone are positive. Cosines alone are positive. So where else do we have cosines being positive? Only in the fourth quadrant. And in the fourth quadrant, how do we get angle? Angle is gotten by 360 minus the acute angle. 360 minus the acute angle. So 360 minus 60 gives us 300. So the values of x are 60 and 300. 60 and 300. 60 and 300. So that is how we work it out. Number 13. Number 13, we are headed to a conclusion. Number 13 as we wind up. It's a question on transformations. In a transformation, an object with an area of 6 square centimeters is mapped onto an image whose area is 36. Whose area is 36 square centimeters. Given that the matrix of the transformation is 4x minus 1, 2x, find the value of x or the values of x. We're supposed to know that determinant of absolute value of determinant in a matrix of transformation gives us what we call area scale factor. So we can get area scale factor first, because area scale factor is given by area of image divided by area of object. So what is our area scale factor in this case? Area scale factor will be 36 out of 6, giving us 6. So this means that a determinant is equivalent to 6. Now, determinant being 6, we ask ourselves, according to the matrix that we have, how do we express determinant? You know, determinant is given by product of the elements in the leading diagonal minus product of the elements in the other diagonal. Product of element in the leading diagonal minus product of elements in the other diagonal. So which is the leading diagonal? The diagonal that runs from top left to bottom right. This one. The product of these elements, that is the leading diagonal. 4x. So 4 by x. When we subtract product of elements in the and x minus 1, 2 and x minus 1. So 2 into x minus 1. Now the determinant is supposed to be 6. Determinant is supposed to be 6. So we are having 4x minus 2x, then positive 2 should give us 6. We now can group like terms together, so that 2x is equivalent to 6 minus 2, that gives us 4. And the value of x is exactly 2. The value of x is exactly 2. The value of x is exactly 2. Yeah, exactly 2. So I hope you can get that relationship now. And that is what you're supposed to be doing now and in future. Please apply that approach and you're going to always get marks. People following from Kericho, and that is great. you can always follow up with the video. Even if you are getting in late, just get back to the video. You can always go backwards and you get the questions. Every question is here. Even after the presentation, the video is going to be uploaded. The video is going to be uploaded. So remember to use it. Number 14. Number 14. The gradient of a curve at any given point is given by 2x squared minus 4. That the curve passes through 1, 2. Find the equation of the curve. Find the equation of the curve. Now, when given the gradient function, antiderivative. In other words, we integrate. So given gradient function, we're supposed to integrate it. So for us to get, in other words, dy dx. Let me repost the screen so that people may follow up well. So what I'm trying to say is that dy dx, that is the differentiated function, equals to 2x squared minus 4. When we differentiate the function, we get x squared minus 4, which means for us to get back our function of y, for us to get y, we have to integrate now. We do antiderivative of this function with respect to x. So y is going to be given by, now to integrate, the first power of x becomes 3, and we divide through by new power. So it will be 2 out of 3, x power 3, then minus 4. We introduce x, then plus arbitrary constant of integration. That constant is not known, but because of the relationship given up there, that the curve passes through 1, 2. At a point in the curve, when x is 1, the value of y is 2. So because of that coordinate, then we can get the constant. We will say y equals to 2 when x is 1. So 2 over 3, 1 power 3, minus 4 into 1, plus c. Plus c. So how do we remain with c? How do we remain with c? To remain with c, now we have to take 2 minus 2/3, minus 2/3, but now 4 becomes positive on that side where there is 2. So we add 4. This is going to be 5 1/3. From the calculator, I'm getting 5 1/3, which means now the equation can now be given specifically as 2 over 3 minus 4x plus 5 1/3. So that is the function of the curve. That is the equation of the curve. Number 15. Number 15 is on loci. Obviously, on loci, I usually guide students. So I'm going to guide you how to approach this question. AB is a fixed line segment, 6 centimeters long. Point P moves on one side of the plane of AB such that APB is always 60 degrees. Construct the locus of P. So the first thing that we're going to place is the line segment 6 centimeters. So we do 6 centimeters. A, we measure 6 centimeters. Then B, yeah, that is the line. That is the line segment. Now we want to construct a point or points of P that APB is always 60. That is the constant anchor loci. the constant angle loci, whereby now we are supposed to know that for us to get an angle of 60 at a given circle, whereby AB is the chord, we have to ensure that there is a center which has double this particular angle. So we need a center whereby there is a 120, a center with 120. So for us to get a center with 120, then we need base angles which are equivalent. So we will stand at A and we construct 60. We construct 60. And also at B, and we do the same. Then now we bisect this. When this one has been bisected, we get 30 degrees. That is a 30 degrees. At B, and we do the same. We also construct 60 at this point. Then we bisect the 60 so that we get 30 degrees. We bisect this to get 30, which means automatically this is going to be 120, automatically 120. Now we treat this one as our center, and we construct what we call the constant angle loci using, we call it center O. So using radius AO and center O, we do a circle. We do a circle. Do a circle like that. Now, anywhere here is going to be the locus of P. Anywhere along that circle will be our point P. It's our point P. Reason being that if chord AB at the center can produce 120, then anywhere on that circle, it will be able to produce half the given angle. Properties of angles in a circle, form 2, on 3D. Remember, consultation line remains 0704153366. This is 153366. Yes. The figure below represents a cuboid, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. AB equals to 32, just as you can see on the diagram. 32. Then BC, 24, just as you can see. CF equals to 8, as you can see. So we have those dimensions provided. Those dimensions provided that way. Now we can proceed and we work out the question now. Thank you, Muhomo Secondary School. Thank you, Muhomo. Remember, just winding up with this question on 3-dimensional geometry. You're just winding up. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share so that you may invite your friends. Given that M is the midpoint of EF, M is the midpoint of here, the midpoint of EF. Calculate the angle between AM and the plane ABCD and the plane ABCD and the plane ABCD. So plane ABCD is the base. So AM, first of all, we have to draw it. AM is going to be the line, it's going to be the line through A to M. AM. Then now we can also identify from M to the base there. Then now we can talk of, at that base, we can call it point X. A line from A to X, I will be able to extract the angle that I want. Yeah, this way now. So we need this particular angle because we are finding an angle between a line and a plane. Then it should be the angle between the line and its own projection on the said plane. So if AM has to cast a shadow on ABCD, that shadow would be AX. So we go between AM and AX, its own shadow on the plane. Its own shadow on the plane. So now that is exactly what we want. And we can find the angle. Easy to find just because of this. The length, let me first clear this line so that I may show you the length that we are finding first. Using 32 as BC, then this is going to be 16. And now AD, because it's equivalent to the other side. 24 and 16, we can get AX. Let's find AX. So the length AX is going to be 24 squared plus 16, obtain the square root. That's going to be 28.84. So this is going to be 28.84 centimeters. Now we can talk of between that line and my AM here. Now line AM now, remember this is right angled and the height here is 12 centimeters. So for me to get the angle theta at this point, I only need to apply the tangent of an angle. Remember tonight we'll be doing a live lesson for mathematics, section 2, paper 2. Section 2, paper 2. We'll be paper 2, section 2. Please don't miss out. Remember to come with a friend online. Thank you, Mr. Cheruyot. Thank you for following up. Okay. We can express now the tangent of this particular angle by giving it its opposite. So the tan of beta equals to the opposite length, which is 12, divided by the length, 28.84. So that if this is so, then the value of theta will be given by the tan inverse of 12 out of 28.8. So the value of this tan inverse, shift tan, 22.59. 22.59 degrees. 22.59 degrees. That is the angle. So our accuracy is approved. Thank you so much for following. Subscribe to this platform and share with friends. See you later for paper 2, section 2.